being depressed on a truck is serious, and it does happen out there because, you know, we don't have the easiest career. So I'm going to talk about 5 reasons that we become depressed. So reason number 1 is too much alone time. So like being alone in a truck, you know, of course there's the cell phones out there, but you know, we're really alone in this truck. And I'll tell you a little story about me being alone in the truck is that I never liked it. Whenever I was out solo, I was so depressed because I was like, man, there's no human interaction. So one of the ways I dealt with that is I called my friends and stuff like that, and when we were close to each other, we met up and we went out to eat. So it helped us all with our depression, our separation kind of. So number 2 on my list is gonna be money problems. So we're all out here working to make money, and we're all working out here to make ends meet. Now, whenever your check's messed up, that's gonna start stressing you out, and that can cause some depression. And it can cause you to feel like, hey, no matter what, you're always going to be doing this trucking. You're never going to dig yourself out of the hole. And sometimes you're just exhausted, always trying to work and hustle and make some money, but you're not making the amount of money that you think that you thought you were going to make coming out here doing trucking. So one of the big things is the money situation. Like if your truck breaks down, you might not be able to run any freight, and that's going to cause you issues, and that's gonna like mess with your psyche. It's because you're like, man, I gotta run, and now your truck's broke down. You're down for a week, you're down for 2 weeks. They don't know when your truck's gonna get back. It's starting to stress you out. It's wearing on you. And they might be like, oh, that part's on back order. You're all like, oh man, I got bills to pay this month. Like my family has to eat. Like you're stressing over money. If you're dealing with your checking account and your bills at home and all that stuff, you're all like, okay, I did this many loads, I'm gonna make this much money, I gotta pay for this bill, I have to pay for that bill. You know, you're stressing it, and that could lead you to anxiety and worries that you're not making ends meet and you're not providing for your family. So, you know, I think number 2 has to be the money problems. Number 3, we all know that we have bad sleep patterns out here trucking. So one of the things that I'm going to tell you right now is lack of sleep. So because, you know, especially on the solo side, that's one thing about me. The solo side killed me. Like it really did. One night you're going to bed at night. The next day you're going to bed during the day. You might go into a shipper. You might start your clock, go into the shipper, and they might have you set there for a whole 10 hours. And you're all like, man, I just woke up to drive this in here. And you're all like, man, I'm about to get a 10-hour break. I need to do some more sleep. So you get your little nap here and there. They wake you up. You know, you got to move the truck, whatever it may be. You're not getting adequate sleep. And sometimes even in the truck stop, hearing trucks slam to get like dropping trailers, picking up trailers, you're not getting the right sleep that you need. And that's going to really mess with your psyche right there, and that's going to cause you some problems. So I'm thinking the lack of sleep is definitely a major one. Number 4 is going to be your employer / I'm throwing your employer in there, I'm throwing your dispatcher in there, I'm throwing your night dispatcher, I'm throwing your weekend dispatcher. I am throwing everything about your employment at you right there. I'm talking about like they're not giving me a load. You're stressing it. You're getting yourself worked up. I need a load to carry me through the weekend because those weekend guys, they're out to get me. It causes paranoia. You're all like, I can't get no help on the weekend from the weekend dispatch. The nighttime dispatch, they won't help me out. Like I just feel like I'm suffocating. I'm having problems with my dispatcher. You know, I've been there. I had problems with a dispatcher before, and you know, I was like, man, I'm about to quit my job. Like, I'm serious. I'm quitting my job. I was already looking at going back to doing corrections where I'm from, all because of a dispatcher. And I felt like there was no way out. There was no win. There was no way to get away from this guy. I tried working with him. you know, it was his way or the highway, and I felt trapped. And luckily, I finally got out of that dispatcher's fleet and onto another fleet. So, you know, I'm going to tell you, those weekend guys, they are covering like 2 or 3 shifts, 2 or 3 fleets, and they might not have time for you. And they're trying to get to everybody, but they might be like, okay, I had a wreck on this fleet and this fleet over here. I'm dealing with some damaged products and the shipper's tripping over here. You know, they got all that stuff going on, and you're all over there like, can I get a load? Can I get a load? You know, they're not going to get with you like right when you want it. And in the trucking world, time is money. So we're all like, man, I got to get this load quick so I know when to go to bed. You know, it's another form of anxiety. You need to know when your next load's coming. The company you're working for, we've seen some big major trucking companies go down. We've seen people go to work, and I'm going to use Celadon as one of the examples. People went to work at Celadon and found out that they didn't have a job no more because guess what? The company closed on them. So one of the places, like one of the things right there is, how stable is your job? Are you at a mom and pop trucking company that all it takes is one driver to have an accident and then you're out of a job? Like, that's going to cause you some stress right there. You know, it's definitely something that is going to mess with you. You know, so I'm going with the employer for that, and I'm going to go with number 5. Number 5 is the load schedule. Number 5 is going to be pretty much the appointment times, because you're trying to make these appointments, you're stressing it, you're in a hurry, you got caught in traffic, you're not getting there on time, you're going to be anxious, you're going to start stressing out. It's going to really start getting into your head about like, hey man, I'm about to get in trouble. I'm not making the load there. I'm going to get a service failure. They're going to fire me. I don't know what to do. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going there. Like, and not only that, in this category, I'm always also going to throw in equipment. My reefer's not working. The products in there is getting too hot. My truck's, like my trailer's battery's not, I gotta jump it off to keep it running throughout the night. I have to prime it. I had a blowout. I'm in the shop. I'm not making my load on time. Like, there's a lot of stuff that can happen out there. You got also the anxiety from like, there was an accident on the road. Did I get into an accident? Or am I involved in an accident? Now I'm not making my load there. I don't got time to do this. You know, you have a lot of stress right there. So you got to really, really calm yourself down and say, look, you know, I missed my appointment time. That's on me, you know, or it's on whatever the situation would be. A lot of places are real understanding, and especially where I'm at, I tell them what's going on. Hey, I'm stuck in traffic and it's not moving. There was a wreck in front of me, and then guess what? It's covered. Or the weather conditions were super bad out here and I couldn't make it to my load on time. You know, that's another thing that's going to create anxiety. So I'm going with, that's why I went with number 5 for the times of your deliveries and your receivers. It's because that's a lot of stress, especially like winter time's coming around the corner. And during the winter time, you don't know the weather conditions, stuff like that. Or you can even look at this the other way. I got too much time on this load. What am I going to do with my extra time? I could be running, you know, or I could be doing this. So that, you know, all of this stuff combined, I'm not saying one of these things happen at once. I'm saying that throughout your day, you might have all 5 things happen to you. And this might lead you into depression. And it's a serious thing. So, like, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Hey, look, I got another one for you right now, too. I just thought about this one. We can even add number 6 on here. Number 6, the food we eat. Are we eating those healthy meals to keep our brain growing good? Are we taking our vitamins? Are we eating greasy junk food, candy, sugars, all that stuff? Is that really making our mindset better, or is that hindering us? Now, I'm not going to add it to my 5 list, but I'm going to tell you about it. So, you know, if you want to call it number 6, go ahead and call it number 6. But I'm telling you, like, our weight, is weighing down on us. We're feeling sluggish, stuff like that. So, you know, you got to reevaluate some of the stuff that you're eating, where you're eating, the fast food, all that stuff. Make some healthier decisions. That should fix a lot of the eating problems out there that I'm talking about. Like, and it could be overeating. You could be lonely, so that's contributing to overeating and stuff like that. Now let's talk about the 5 common signs of a mild depression, or a that's leading up to depression in a trucker. And some of you might want to look at yourself right now and see if you have any of this stuff going on. But short fuse, quick tempered. So like, how quick are you getting mad? Like, are you getting angry real quick? You getting frustrated real quick? Or, you know, are you the same as before you started trucking? And a lot of times that's a hard thing to notice, because I've had stuff set me off quick, and I've had stuff that like I'm usually not mad about. Like, I'm all like, it's just a normal day. Well, that little thing that happened set me off quick. Then how about extra tired? So number 2 is going to be extra tired. Are you extra tired? Do you want to sleep more? Are you taking more naps? Did you used to sleep 6 hours a day and now you're sleeping your whole 10-hour break? I've been there. When I was solo, I would sleep my whole 10-hour break, and I think it was a part of me being depressed. I don't like being alone, and I was always, you know, let me get to this list. I'll tell you a little bit about me here in a minute. Let me get through this list of the 5 common signs of depression. Restlessness. So do you feel like, hey man, I'm going to get out my truck and I'm going to go for a walk? Or do you feel like, man, I ain't even going to walk in the store to go pee. I'm just going to pee in a bottle. Like, I don't feel like getting out of bed today. You know, that's not good. I suggest going into the store. It gets you up, it gets you moving, it gets you away from the truck for a minute, get back to the truck. Like, restlessness. Number 4, like, you know how you have, like, we'll say that you play Xbox and you really enjoy Xbox, and you're all like, man, I love playing my games and stuff like that. And now you're all like, man, I don't even like playing my games. Or maybe it's a phone game on your phone, like, what was that big game? Candy Crush. Maybe you were a Candy Crush pro, and now you're all like, I don't like Candy Crush. I'm tired of Candy Crush. Well, the thing is, are you really tired of it, or are you just not interested in nothing again? Are you just like, I don't care to play that. It's like you're losing you're not interested in the things that you used to be interested in. You see the news and you're like, there's some big news going on, and you're like, I don't care. You start getting that don't care attitude. You know, that's some signs that you probably need to probably get some help. You know, this is serious. Like, I'm dead serious about this depression stuff. And then number 5, trouble focusing on things. Like, are you having trouble focusing on this video right now? But seriously, are you having trouble focusing? Like, you can't stay focused on the task at hand. That's another sign of depression. And like, whenever you start feeling like you have these signs and that you're starting to get depressed, then like there's people that help. Like, Prime has therapists, and they have places you can reach out to get help. And you know, maybe your trucking company has the same thing. Maybe there's a outreach for you. There's always a suicide hotline number. I should have looked up one before I started this. But if you're so depressed that you're having suicidal thoughts, you are letting yourself go that much, it's time to get help. It's time to talk to somebody. Make sure you're keeping in touch with your family and stuff, and friends and stuff like that. Don't get to that point. That's the last thing we want to hear. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about me. So, when I'm teaming, I'm fine. Whenever I have a student on my truck, I'm fine. I have somebody, it's human interaction right there. Like, I see them, I'm all like, hey, there's a living person here. But whenever I was solo, I couldn't stand it really. I did not like being by myself. it was cool and everything, talking to people on the phones and stuff, but actually seeing somebody that you know and talk to. My trucking group of friends, we were real good about being on Live 360 app and stuff like that. So we would watch each other. Hey, you're close to me, man. Let's meet up halfway at this truck stop. You know, we would meet up, and we had rules set. Hey, if we're in the same area, we have to 100% meet up. I don't care if you're mid-sleep, you're getting out of that bed and you're going to come in here and you're going to eat a meal with me, or you're going to come over here and talk to me. And we would always make sure that we were looking out for each other like that. Being solo by myself, I did not handle very well. So most of my career, a lot of y'all know that I was, you know, on a team truck most of the time. But I started out solo when I got my truck, and I did solo for a while. My teammate hurt his back in the middle of our team driving, and I was out solo, and I was miserable. I really was. I couldn't stand it. I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this by myself. I hate being by myself. You know, it's just weird. I've never lived by myself. Like, I lived with my parents, moved out with somebody, and I've been with somebody, living with somebody the entire time. I've never lived by myself. And I think being in the truck by myself, I was like, man, I'm lonely. Like, I don't see nobody. And I'm not saying that I was depressed. I imagine that I might have probably had some of these signs, but you know, I pulled through it, and I became a trainer. One of the reasons I became a trainer was because I was like, man, if I gotta drive out here, I'm having somebody on this truck with me. Like, we're gonna talk, we're somebody to interact with, something. Like, even though we seen each other in between, like switching out and stuff, it was better than not seeing nobody at all, it felt like. And the sleep schedule was way better. I don't like not knowing when. I like a set schedule. I don't like this jumping around the clock. Sleep days, sleep nights, sleep in the afternoon, sleep in the morning. Like, yeah, man, I'm lost. You know, so stuff like that bothered me out here. But this is a serious thing right here, depression. So make sure y'all are looking out for the signs and trying to take care of yourself better. I know it's hard to do out there over the road. But if y'all are looking for more educational videos like this one, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Leave me some comments. Like, let me know what you do when you start feeling depressed. Maybe somebody will read your comment and say, you know what, I'm going to try that out. Whether it's exercise, whether it's ride a bike, get a new hobby, what it may be, whatever it may be, leave it in the comments, please. You might help somebody. Thanks for watching my videos.